I've been made aware of a place in the UK where you can take a driving test and it's wildly different. So I didn't even need to leave the country to investigate. I jumped on a plane this morning, landed in Belfast and met up with instructor Richard. He's going to take me on a driving test here and show me how in the same country with the same government we can be testing driving to completely different standards.
Not quite the same government.
There's more to this than I realised. Let's get into it. So we're at Hydebank Driving Test Centre, but it's also a £30 million project to test MOTs. What else does it test?
Driving tests.
Driving tests.
We'll probably do tax test, PSV testing.
You called it a super test centre.
We have them. They're labelled as super centres.
DVSA, hello, keep up. If we had some super centres, then we could get through the backlog. But there's some interesting stuff about this super centre. I'm gonna throw up the drone. You can have a look at it, but we're gonna do that at the end of the video. Should we go driving?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
There's some stuff about this super centre that cost 30 million, but didn't actually work. So you're going to give me a route around Hydebank, one of the real routes?
Correct.
And there's a reason I've got Richard in the picture, because Richard's got the driving test routes for Northern Ireland. This is what you do. Tell me about what you do.
Yeah, most of them. I'm trying to go, it's because it's telling you you're supposed to be doing 10 miles an hour.
I'm supposed to be doing 10?
On a 30-mile-an-hour road, because there's no signage to tell you otherwise.
Oh, I've seen the 10 sign. Okay, forget that. Tell me about the test routes.
Test routes in general, over here, we've got, trying to remember now, we've got about 9 or 10 test centres all over Northern Ireland. We're going to keep going straight ahead of the traffic lights here. The super centre that we've just discussed is the first of quite a few, because an awful lot of our testing centres are all in desperate need of an upgrade. As you've pointed out, I mean, the DVSA and the DVA run two slightly different ways. One of the things we're going to come across here is how our manoeuvres and the systems we use are slightly different to the UK stuff. Completely different. There's so much difference between the UK test and the Northern Irish test. One question. Yeah. Because I got tripped up on this when I went to Ireland. I'm going to hold that for a sec. We're going to take the next road on our left up ahead. So must I drive with 2 hands on the wheel, or are you testing my control of the steering? Because I've had a few people from Northern Ireland comment on my videos, because it's supposed to be the same, but over where I'm from, it's just about the control, not about the way you steer. Put up on the left here. In my view, you're correct. Yeah. It should be more about the level of control you exhibit over the car. Yes. With your steering. But in practice, what are testers looking for, examiners? Ooh, interesting question, because contrary to popular belief, examiners are also human beings. So they will make their own mind up on the day. Some who I would imagine might be sort of maybe longer in the job, might have one attitude towards it. Newer ones might have a different feel for it. This location, one of the Hydebank test routes, is a very good spot and a very common spot for left corner reverse. Reverse around the corner, here? Yeah. Is that what we want me to do next? That's what I want you to do next. Oh, wild. Drive. This is something you haven't done probably in about 5 or 6 years, so. I haven't done it since last year when I went to Ireland to check out the Irish test. So the rules would have been exactly the same as before. A 2-car length stop point just past the corner. You can, from this point, you can do whatever you wish, whatever you've been taught. I'm a big believer in using the tools that you have available. I'm a big fan of getting my pupils to tilt down the passenger mirror, just as long as they remember to put it back up again. Let me do it the way that I used to teach it 5 years ago maybe now, when we used to have to get students to do this. Then you can tell me if it's different or if you're looking for something different in Northern Ireland's driving test. So I'm going to observe all around to start before I move, because then I need to know whether there's something coming or anything in my danger area. I need to keep up effective observation, because contrary to popular belief, on the English test anyway, whether you can park well or not makes no difference. All they're looking for is good control of the car. Am I in control of the speed and the steering? Yes. And then good observation. So am I keeping up observation effective enough for the speed that I'm moving at? And is that observation sufficient? I've lost the curve now. Is that observation sufficient so that if anything were to happen, so I'm not looking down there right now, what's the danger area over here? Actually, tricky little spot here as well because
it's downhill and everything.
It's downhill. It's actually, it's a more coming off country road. So like one of the things you might find 10 to 8.
Mate, absolutely smash that. Let's just take a second. Absolutely smash that to bits.
Oh, I don't know.
It's well close to the curb.
Yeah, but are you straight? Nah, I'm only joking.
Cool. So pass.
Pass.
Tell me where to go next.
Your observation was absolutely spot on. There was nothing really to worry about there. One thing, it kind of
main road?
Back out on the main road, yeah. So we'll go up to the giveaway. We'll take a turn to the right.
Yeah, critique my manoeuvre and tell me what you were looking for.
It was fine. It was absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong that I could see there whatsoever. And you've just put it out on a car on your left. There would have been a...
Oh, look how far back he is.
Doesn't matter.
What?
He's travelling at speed. He
didn't even catch up to us.
He did. Well, we had have. Got to think about it. The potential for risk.
I judged his speed and exceeded it. Would that have been? That'd be a foul.
I would say, given the circumstances of a learner pulling out on that at a slower speed.
Okay. So in English test, there's a thing in the DT1 that says, like, you can't punish people for not driving like a learner because you might have lost your driving test. Is it 40? It's 50 here. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it transitions up to 50.
You might have lost your license. You might have come from another country where. So in Ireland as well. So in Northern Ireland too, you have to drive like a learner regardless of your skill level.
Grey area. I'll give that grey area because what you've said is right. Somebody has lost their license, been off the road for 2 years. They're retesting after some sort of conviction. There will be an allowance, certain amount of allowance made for the fact that they've driven before.
Oops, I went into park. Bloody hell, no, forget that. That's just me. I can't drive this car.
I did offer to go get the manual. He refused. Said because he's been in a plane early in the morning. He thinks an automatic would work out better for him.
That was me going into first gear. Whoa, what the hell? That was stupid.
Okay, so up ahead we've got our first roundabout, Malone Road roundabout. Very simple. First exit turning left. Okay,
I've got to be honest, so far this test route's really, really nice. Long straight roads, simple junctions. Are all test routes kind of like difficult or this easy? Is there a big mix?
Yeah, there's a big mix. There's one back there which goes along a road we call a Hillhall Road.
Sorry, say that again, what exit?
First exit turning left, please.
Okay, cool. 30 miles an hour.
As it's a 35 to 40 minute test route, the first kind of half of it has like 8 or 9 really tricky sections to it.
Okay.
Which, if you didn't have any experience of driving that road and that route, you would really struggle.
Would people over here get mock tests?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, most instructors will do a mock test. Whenever
look at this. Is this a hill start? Would they get you to pull over 5 or 6 times?
Get you to pull over 5 or 6 times. Same thing as you guys do.
Okay, let's do it. Do you have a thing where pull up on the left in a safe place?
Yes.
Okay.
Safe, legal and convenient.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I'll usually say somewhere just convenient on your left.
So not here?
No, not in front.
I've gone into
park again.
I meant reverse. R for reverse.
In front of the driveway.
This car is extremely smooth. I like it a lot. Do you know what else is weird? Our plates. Like we've got the same. We're the same. We're from the same country.
Yep.
Why is there a different system of passing? Because we have P plates. They're not mandatory. They never have been. Look at this one, and there's another one. R in the window.
Yeah.
Restricted license?
Restricted license. Restricted to 45 miles an hour.
Wild.
You're not allowed to drive on the motorway, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's
actually wild. You've passed, but you can't use a motorway.
Do I agree with that? Not necessarily, but there are plans in the works that are going to change that and bring some of the test standards from England through here. It's going to be called a graduated learner driver program.
Okay, we don't have that though.
Which is going to, unfortunately, in certain circumstances, extend the learner period. It's going to be mandatory 6 months, as far as I'm led to believe, at the moment.
So interesting. These houses are incredible. Where are we?
We are Upper Malone.
Upper Malone?
Upper Malone Road.
You are doing bits, Upper Malone.
BT9, darling.
BT9, is that the good bit?
Yeah, that's the aspirational bit for a certain number of people in the greater Belfast area.
This is the Islington of Belfast.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Talking of driving tests though, there's a thing in England, right, where we've got this 6-month waiting, the backlog.
Yeah.
And it's an absolute nightmare. I've spoken to a few people from Northern Ireland on Instagram, and it's like, yeah, I can get a test. What's wrong with you guys?
Well, I think we have something we've talked about over the phone about this issue with people being able to block book using like bots and stuff online.
What we do. Do you have that?
No, we don't have that. But our civil service booking system, like one of the good things about it is our control mechanisms on the back end of those systems are huge. You don't have the same booking system as us? No, completely different. And bots don't work on it? Yeah, don't work on it at all. So in England, right, there's all the bots that nab up the tests, but they have I think it was something like 480 examiners. And everyone's like, oh, that's impressive. Oh, well done. That's great. DVA say you're doing bits. Sorry, there's 380 driving test centres. That's one examiner more for every centre. Right. That's not enough to get through the backlog. No. In Belfast, the backlog was the longest and the largest. It was up to about sort of 4.5, 5 months, about a year, well, about this time last year. Yeah, yeah. And we're going to move over to the lane on the right when it's safe. Would they tell you that on a test? Yeah. They'd give you lane advice? They will, depend on, there's a speed camera van up ahead. They will ask you because they want you to position the car to be able to turn the next time they're going to turn. But no, in England, if they were giving verbals, they just say, at the second set of traffic lights, we're going to turn right. Or I'm giving you early indication to help you. Yeah. Or something. Well, in my experience, on occasion, some of the occasions that I've actually experienced, that they do ask you to do that's really helpful. So that, and then you factor in that whenever a student applies for a test here, they get a reference number, and then they have to create a password for their own account. So no one else can access it? So no one else can access it. Like, if you booked a test on 5 different learners' driving licenses and then tried to sell them on, that wouldn't work because you'd need that one password. Yeah, or your email address to get the activation code to get back into your booking. So that's how they do it in England. We're gonna go right. Turning right. Okay, so we need to adopt either the Irish system or the Northern Irish system. Everybody's doing it better than we're doing it, and we're just getting scammed. I cannot for the life of me understand how that has been allowed to happen, how it's got into the situation it is. Nobody else has the same issue. This is just England and Scotland and Wales. Independent drive. Oh, independent drive. Oh, I'm going to forget this for sure. Right, so along here, it's very simple. Our independent drive is not sat-nav based the way yours is. It's literally a series of instructions. You'll get shown a very basic map, like I said before, and you'll be asked to go like, 2 or 3 directional changes, and that's really about it. So we're gonna keep going straight ahead. Yep. We're gonna get to the end of the road. We're gonna turn left. End of the road, left. We're gonna go up to the roundabout. We're gonna take the second exit turning right, following the signs for Bangor and Newtonards. Okay, end of the road left, roundabout second exit right, Bangor and Newtonards. I've got this, let's go. Okay, I need to do it quickly, otherwise that's gonna go. This is so unfair when am I doing something wrong? Basics, handbrake. Definite fail. When they used to do this in England, I thought it was so unfair because it's a memory test. What benefit are you getting? Does that show on the same? I don't know. I mean, I have my own take on it. I personally think it's an opportunity just for the examiners to sit back and make sure you are doing those observational checks and making sure everything is all good in all aspects of your driving without them interjecting at any point. Okay, I did remember this one. End of the road left. And give way. Okay, here we go. Question. Yep. Does give way mean stop? Should you stop at every give way line? Or if there's nothing coming, should you be going? If you can see clearly in both directions, you can keep going. Okay, yeah, nice. But you've just picked up a serious fault for not driving in the bus lane. Why? The bus lane's in operation from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Oh, 9:30 a.m. I thought I did. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. I thought I did read it. Okay. So normally you'd be in that lane and then moving over to the right here. Right, that would be a serious fault. That would be a serious fault. Wow, wild. In England? Why? Because you're legally obliged of driving a bus lane outside its hours of operation. You're legally obliged because it's the left lane, not the... Oh, see, I'd go for that. You wouldn't, would you? No, that roundabout, the gap there would have been okay, actually. Oh, really? After I pulled out in front of that guy who I had space for. Yeah, and you had space for. You freaked me out. An experienced driver has space for. So... In England, we have the same thing with bus lanes. If they're available, you should be driving in it. Actually, you didn't need me to interject at all. Good man.
Because I remembered?
Yeah, you're fine. You moved over to the left as well. A lot of students will trip up on this a little bit. One of those things where you need to make it obvious that you're wanting to move over to the left because you're supposed to be in the left-hand lane as that level of driver.
Before you get undertaken.
Before you get undertaken. But if you have your mirrors checked and your indicators on, somebody undertakes you, who's at fault? You or the driver who's undertaken you?
Well, maybe you could have moved to the left earlier. I don't think there was any earlier that I could have moved left because the first lane was coming from somewhere else.
Well, if you're coming off that roundabout and you move over too early and you don't give yourself time to check, it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
So in my view, if you've checked your mirrors, you've got your indicator on, that person still undertakes you while you're trying to move over, and that doesn't give you the ability to move over, they're at fault and you're not.
Can I be annoying?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so on the bus lane, nobody undertook me. I was in the overtaking lane.
There's a reason for that though.
But
everybody's afraid of a bus lane.
I quite like a bus lane because then everybody doesn't use it because nobody drives in bus lanes and you can zip up it.
Yeah. So we're just heading back to the test centre. We're just going to go straight ahead.
Okay, we finished the driving test. We're going to hear about the super centres and why it's a great idea, why this one didn't work and why we actually need it in England to fix the backlog. But tell me how I did on my driving test.
You're driving like an experienced driver.
Which, lucky I am.
Okay, not bad. I mean, we pointed out a couple of...
Bus lane?
The bus lane thing, yeah. Pulling out in front of that car.
You would have given me a fail for that?
As a learner, I would have probably would have reprimanded you in a mock test for it. It's something you need to be aware of.
Okay.
Don't risk it if you don't need to.
Right, very
But then again, I would be stricter than... every instructor would be stricter than most examiners because we're trying to uncover what the flaws are to make sure that you don't duplicate that whenever it comes to test time.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So now you know the differences between the English and Irish driving test. Which one do you think is better, more fair? Which one would you like to do more than the other? So super centres, this one, talk me through it. We're gonna...
Okay.
What happened? What's going on?
This is the first one of a series of them for Northern Ireland. So our system is slightly different in that our MOT system is controlled by the DVA. Whereas in England, I think it's still done in garages and stuff. There's no dedicated centres for them.
You go to your MOT centre, which is
ours are government employees who are testing the car for roadworthiness.
Interesting.
So there's no kind of...
Do you have to pay for that?
Yes, I think it's £39.50 for the test.
Oh, it's about the same. But it's the government that does the test, not the garage.
Yes.
What about driving tests?
They've reduced the waiting time to about 33 days, worst case scenario.
That's a month.
A month.
We could only dream of this.
But ours was what yours is now.
Yeah, but they've got it down.
Well, they've made a lot of inroads into it.
Irish government, Stormont, big up yourself. Is that the right thing?
Northern Irish government, the MLAs, yeah.
MLAs. MLA, big up yourself. You've done bits on this, and this is wicked. But they flopped on something. 30 mil.
Yeah, the MOT Test Centre isn't operational yet. We've had some issues historically with equipment failure and stuff, and it changed the way that the procurement procedure worked here. Yeah. Which didn't go quite according to plan.
Okay.
I'm trying to be diplomatic.
You're trying to be diplomatic because 5 minutes ago you called them right wallies.
Right, he's just hung a rope around my neck.
What you said was
sooner rather than later.
They do lorry tests and bus tests here, but the lorries and buses can't get around the bend to get up to the lane where they get tested.
Yeah. So the landscaping here has created some issues of its own.
They built a test centre for lorries and buses, also cars, but lorries and buses can't get to the bit where they need to be tested because whoever built it didn't think of the lorries and buses.
Yes.
This has been really interesting. I've enjoyed this a lot. I'm going to make loads more videos about driving in Northern Ireland to help people. If you need to drive and you're from here, then you need to get on Richard's website, Vroom Driving Lessons. What he said. I'm going to put it in the description as well. You can get driving lessons. You can also download driving test routes if you're learning with friends, family. You've already got a driving instructor, but you want to do some driving test routes as well with your mum, with your dad, with your friends, with your family. Get on him, hit him up. He's got all the info. He's got the stuff that you need to pass. And that's what we want. Thank you, Richard. appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland, this is the place to be. Love it here.
The only downside is you can't apply for a driving test over here on a UK provisional license.
Can you not?
Yep.
So you can't just come over. Oh, that would be that. You thought.
Well, we can't. With the same thing, we can't do it the other way around either.
That would be sick. Do you not get provisional licenses?
We do, but if we were to try and apply to do a test over there, you need to have a proof of residence.
It's DVA, not DVSA. It's like a different system, and your license number doesn't work on my system. Interesting.
Well, my driving license number doesn't even work on the insurance company's systems.
No way.
No, yours will get picked up, ours doesn't.
I didn't even
think of that. Because the numbers are different.
I didn't even think of that. But if you thought of that, forget it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.